A storm is brewing in Atlanta. 7 days. That's all that separates the Falcons from stepping onto the field against Tampa Bay and showing the world whether this really is the start of something different or just another false dawn. But this time, it feels different. The air around this team is charged. The players know it. The fans feel it. The city can sense it. Because this is not just another season opener. This is the beginning of the Michael Penix Jr. era. For months, Falcons fans debated whether their rookie quarterback, last year's 8th overall pick, was ready for the weight of an entire franchise. Now, that question has been ripped away. He's not just a prospect anymore. He's the centerpiece. He's the leader. He's the one Atlanta has chosen to carry them forward. And so far, he looks the part. Calm in the pocket. Sharp with his throws. A voice that commands the huddle. Penix hasn't just arrived. He's taken control. But here's where it gets scary for opposing defenses. He's not doing this alone. Behind him is Bijan Robinson, the running back who looks like he was built in a lab to terrify defenders. Lightning in his cuts, power in his stride, and now fully unlocked in an offense designed to move him like a chess piece. Line him up in the backfield, spread him out wide, or send him into open space. He's a nightmare matchup waiting to happen. And when Bijan isn't slashing through defenses, there's Tyler Allgeier, the bruiser who softens up the front seven with every punishing run. Together, they're thunder and lightning, a perfect balance of finesse and power that gives Atlanta an identity on the ground few teams can match. Add in Kyle Pitts, still one of the most athletic tight ends in the league, and the vision becomes clear. This Falcons offense isn't here to be predictable. New coordinator Zach Robinson is crafting something built on movement, deception, and versatility. One snap, Bijan's sprinting outside the tackles. The next, Allgeier's bulldozing straight through the middle. Defenses won't know where to look, because Atlanta finally has the pieces to keep them guessing. And all of it runs through the arm, the vision, and the leadership of Michael Penix Jr. This isn't just another season. This is Atlanta rolling the dice on its future and daring the rest of the league to stop them. If there's one name that Falcons fans are circling this season, it's Kyle Pitts. Let's be honest, this is the year where all excuses have to disappear. Drafted 4th overall, Pitts wasn't just expected to be good, he was expected to be generational. We've seen flashes of that. Moments where he looks unstoppable, a mismatch nightmare, the kind of tight end defenses simply can't cover. But flashes aren't enough anymore. Atlanta needs consistency. Atlanta needs dominance. And now, for the first time, Pitts has a quarterback who seems tailor-made for his skill set. A passer who can throw a ball with touch, accuracy, and timing, and who has been locked in with him all offseason. This feels like the moment where everything aligns. If Kyle Pitts is ever going to become that 1,000-yard weapon, that true red zone terror, it has to be now. Not next season. Not someday. Right now. Behind him, the tight end room is built mostly for blocking, which only magnifies Pitts' role as the centerpiece receiving threat. The weight is on his shoulders, and the opportunity couldn't be bigger. But then comes the wide receiver room. And here's where things get complicated. Drake London is the unquestioned WR1. No debates, no doubts. He's the anchor. But after London, things start to wobble. Darnell Mooney was supposed to be the clear WR2, a speedster who could stretch the field and create balance. But injury concerns have clouded his Week 1 availability, and suddenly the door has cracked open. Enter Casey Washington, the rookie who refuses to play like one. From the moment camp opened, he's been catching eyes, catching passes, and catching the attention of coaches who can't stop talking about his work ethic and poise. Instead of shrinking from the challenge, Washington has stepped into the spotlight. If Mooney can't go, it'll be Washington lining up opposite Drake London on opening day, a massive opportunity for a young player who already looks ready for the stage. And let's not forget about Ray McCloud. He's not the biggest name in the room, but he's the kind of wild card every offense needs. Every time he touches the ball, something electric can happen. A sudden burst, a game-changing play, the kind of jolt that tilts momentum in seconds. So right now, the Falcons' receiving core looks young, hungry, and fast. The kind of group that can win on speed, separation, and energy. But it's also a group that feels like it's still writing its story. Then we shift into the trenches, the offensive line. Stability mixed with change. Jake Matthews remains the rock at left tackle, the trusted veteran who has been the heartbeat of this line for years. Next to him, Matthew Bergeron is locked in at left guard, bringing youth and consistency. And at center, there's change. Ryan Neal steps into a crucial role after Drew Dalman's departure to Chicago. It's a position that can make or break this unit, and Neal's ability to hold the middle will be tested immediately. The Falcons' skill players might get the headlines, but none of it works unless this offensive line holds firm. And in a year where expectations are sky high, every block, every snap, every mistake will be magnified. This season feels like the moment of truth for Atlanta's trenches. Let's start on offense. For the first time, Darnell "Nell" Wright is stepping into a full-time starting role, and the expectations on his shoulders are massive. The Falcons have leaned on veterans in the past, but now Wright is being asked to not just play his position, but define it. And here's the challenge. Atlanta's offensive line is in transition. On the right side, the rock-solid Chris Lindstrom is still there, but his partner at right tackle? Everything has changed. Caleb McGarry is out for the year, and his absence has created a ripple effect. Storm Norton, one of the possible replacements, is also sidelined for weeks. That leaves Elijah Wilkinson stepping into one of the most dangerous jobs in football, protecting your quarterback's blind side in a division loaded with pass rushers who live to end drives in one snap. Wilkinson doesn't just need to be solid, he needs to master the zone blocking scheme quickly, or this offense risks collapsing from the edge inward. If he can't hold firm, it won't matter how talented the skill players are, because the plays won't even have time to develop. But this isn't just about survival. Atlanta's offensive line is being tested, and how it responds could set the tone for the entire season. It's a story of fluidity, of young players growing under fire, and of finding stability when chaos keeps knocking on the door. Now, flip the field. Because on defense, that's where the energy around this team truly changes. The Falcons' defensive line looks like it's finally building the kind of identity that fans have been waiting for. At the center of it is Brandon Dorlus, a player who's not just promising, he's ready to break out. His combination of size, quickness, and violent hands makes him exactly what Atlanta needs, a disruptor who can collapse the pocket and stuff the run. Next to him are veterans David Onyemata and rookie Rook Orhorhoro, forming a trio that isn't just plugging space, but creating opportunities. For years, Atlanta's defensive front has been criticized as soft. Now, it has teeth. On the edges, there's a blend of youth and experience that could finally give this defense its bite. Arnold Ibikity returns, a versatile pass rusher who's been growing into his role. But the Falcons didn't stop there. They added rookies Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., explosive athletes who bring a level of energy and unpredictability that can wreck game plans. Add in Leonard Floyd, the proven veteran with championship pedigree, and suddenly the pass rush isn't just one-dimensional. Raheem Morris is expected to rotate bodies constantly, creating fresh legs, different looks, and pure chaos for opposing quarterbacks. Behind them, the linebacking duo of Caden Ellis and Troy Anderson, nicknamed D-Lo by teammates, brings the exact skill set today's game demands. They're fast enough to spy mobile quarterbacks, smart enough to track tight ends, and tough enough to plug run lanes. If Atlanta wants to slow down offenses in this league, these two will be the glue holding the middle together. And then there's the secondary, the unit that might quietly be the biggest X factor. A.J. Terrell is still the unquestioned leader, a lockdown corner who relishes the challenge of taking on top receivers. Across from him is Mike Hughes, steady and reliable, but the real twist? Billy Bowman Jr. has stormed into the nickel role. A former college safety with blazing athleticism and natural instincts, Bowman is the kind of player who can flip momentum with a single read. Coaches have been raving about him all summer, and he's already jumped ahead of D. Alford on the depth chart. Pair him with Jesse Bates III at safety, one of the best playmakers in the entire league, and suddenly the Falcons' secondary feels more dangerous, more complete than it has in years. This defense is being built to create headaches, to play fast, and to suffocate offenses. For the first time in a long time, Atlanta doesn't just look competitive in the trenches, they look like they can dictate games. No more waiting. The Falcons' defense is ready to show its teeth. On one side, A.J. Terrell remains the cornerstone, the calm, unshakable presence who erases half the field. But opposite him stands a name fans need to remember: Xavier Woods. The rookie out of Notre Dame has already forced his way into a starting role. He's aggressive, fearless, and not afraid to throw his body around in the run game. He doesn't look like a rookie trying to survive. He looks like a player who belongs. And he's not alone. Slot corner Billy Bowman Jr. has stepped into the fire too. Pairing these young talents with Terrell creates a blend of experience and raw energy that could define the secondary. If these rookies grow fast, this back end could go from serviceable to flat-out dangerous. But the real storm is brewing up front. Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulbrich have built a defense designed to suffocate offenses through waves of pressure. Imagine an offensive line trying to keep track of Leonard Floyd one snap, Arnold Ebiketie the next, then suddenly seeing rookie James Pierce Jr. or Jalen Walker crashing in fresh off the sideline. That constant rotation is chaos for quarterbacks. You can't plan for it. You can't double-team everyone. And sooner or later, someone breaks through. That's the vision here, not just a defense that holds its own, but a defense that forces mistakes, that tilts games in Atlanta's favor. And yet, even with all these weapons on defense, everything ties back to one man. Michael Penix Jr. The Falcons have given him the keys. The coaches trust him. The locker room has rallied behind him. The fan base is holding its breath, waiting to see if he can shoulder the weight of a franchise. This isn't just about throwing touchdowns. It's about poise. It's about taking hits and still leading drives. It's about silencing the doubts that come with being the rookie quarterback. If Penix can rise to the moment, then all the pieces, the aggressive rookies, the relentless pass rush, the veteran leaders, suddenly fit together into something much bigger. Not just a team with potential, but a team that can punch the NFL in the mouth from week one. So the question isn't just whether the Falcons are ready. The real question is the league ready for them?